Welcome back to Early Morning. I'm Mitch Carr. The House Committee on Oversight and Reform claimed that Dan Snyder, the owner of the NFL's Washington Commanders, obstructed a congressional investigation looking into the team. The committee also said that Snyder was misleading in his testimony. The congressional report reveals that the NFL and the Commanders did not comply completely with the panel's request for documents and information. For more on the probe into the Commanders owner Dan Snyder, we welcome in Mitch Epner, a member of the firm Rottenberg, Lippman, Rich, PC, and a former federal prosecutor. Thanks for joining us again, Mitchell. We appreciate your time.
Great to be here. Always something new with that team.
Well, let me ask you this. You're a former federal prosecutor. The idea that you don't know or you don't remember, it sort of fits into that gray area where you can't be proven, I suppose, to be lying and therefore perjuring yourself, but also you're not giving up anything, and you're also not claiming Fifth Amendment protections or anything. So he said over 100 times that he didn't know or he didn't remember. As far as this House panel's probe goes, how does the federal government or how does anyone handle that? How does a lawyer handle that when someone says, hey, I just don't know or I don't remember, even if you suspect they're lying?
Okay, so one thing that I've told clients many, many times over the years is if you have more money than you could conceivably spend in the rest of your life, do everything that you can to avoid going to jail, because that's the one place where your money will do you no good. Dan Snyder has put himself at risk. The entire 79 pages of this report, or actually the first 70 pages, which are devoted to Dan Snyder, read like a prosecution brief to show that Dan Snyder engaged in felony obstruction of justice and felony perjury. They lay out the case that this was the most hands-on manager you could imagine, and his claim not to know or not remember these things is simply not credible. It is extraordinarily difficult to prosecute somebody for perjury for saying they don't remember something, because you have to prove a particular statement that they did not was a false. So if he says, I don't remember thing X, and the jury can't be certain if he remembered thing X or thing Y or thing Z, that doesn't get across the finish line. The obstruction of justice, though, however, or obstruction of a congressional investigation, that is something people go to jail for. We've seen that very recently. That's what Steve Bannon is, the contempt of Congress is akin to it. That is a real problem. If I were Dan Snyder's attorneys, I'd be very concerned this morning.
But didn't Dan Snyder's attorneys likely tell him to say, I don't know and I don't remember? Or is that not legal advice that you would give?
If I had been Dan Snyder's attorney, I would have said, assert your Fifth Amendment privilege. Dan Snyder was trying to play a game where he would be allowed to hold on to the team. He knew if he asserted the Fifth Amendment, the NFL would step in and say, you have to sell the team. They've done that anyway already. He's in the midst of being forced to sell the team, and now he has serious criminal exposure.
And this hearing and his saying, I don't know and I don't remember, that is what you're saying has put him at criminal exposure.
It's actually the obstruction of the Beth Wilkinson investigation and then the lies to what appear to be lies to the House Oversight Committee about what he did and didn't do to obstruct the Beth Wilkinson investigation. That's the thing that seems much more a target for prosecutors than saying, I didn't know and I didn't remember, to 100 separate things.
Now, we had talked earlier, we had you on a month or so ago about the Racine investigation. The District of Columbia's district attorney has said that he defrauded fans, that he wasn't upfront with them, all kinds of things. And we kind of said, that's kind of shaky on legal ground. And you said there are so many things you could probably get Dan Snyder on. Why this one? And I wonder if this is a much more solid case than what the DA in D.C. has brought.
Okay, so if we're talking on a scale of 1 to 10, and 1 is Julie Andrews and 10 is Bo Derek, this is a lot closer to Bo Derek running on the beach.
That is quite an answer, and not one that I fully expected. That is Mitchell Epner. He's a member of the firm Rottenberg, Lippman, Rich, PC. a former federal prosecutor, looking into Dan Snyder for us. Thank you very much for your time, sir.
Thank you.